You know, when Kay came home after that first mammogram and said they found something, you know, my eyes immediately filled with tears, and I thought, oh boy, you know, what are we in for? Now that we've gone through that, and actually in the last 5 years she's had cancer twice. She's also had melanoma, which is a skin cancer that's the worst kind, which can actually is more dangerous than even breast cancer. The big aha out of all that is I determined I would never again take my wife for granted. That she could be just like that. That I would treat each day as if it might be our last. That I would not get up in the morning or go to bed at night without thinking, she might not be here tomorrow. And so that sense of not taking her for granted is an important thing. I think it's really interesting that in 2003, on November 3rd, 2003, I stood up at Saddleback and we announced the beginning of the peace plan. I did the first message. It was going to go a month-long series on it. And it was the most important thing I had ever done in ministry, the development of the peace plan. The next day, Kay started cancer treatment. And all of a sudden, I realized God has a dead end here. And it's not really a dead end. It was a delay. It looked like a dead end, but it was a delay. And in God's timing, we were able to relaunch the peace plan. But I made a quick decision, and it was a very easy decision that family comes first. And so I told the church, I'm not going to preach the rest of the series. We're not going to develop the peace plan right now. I'm going to go home and take care of my wife for the next several months or however long as she goes through chemo and radiation and things like that. I think that was one of the best models that I did. Men need to understand what it means to care for their wives. I have done this several times in our 29 years of ministry at Saddleback. I remember back in the early 80s when Kay got very sick for a period of about 4 months. And I was getting ready to do an annual report and a big annual meeting and all this kind of stuff. And I just shut it all down and did that. And the greatest testimony was 6 months later when we had that annual meeting and the annual report. And Kay got up and said, now the reason you don't have an annual report is because your pastor has been taking care of me for 4 months. And to me, that was the greatest legacy. I've always said the secret of success is having the people who know me best respect me most. And I know that my wife respects me. And that's far more important than impressing people who aren't going to be in your life any other time. So the key thing it's done is just help me be more grateful for her.